Hello, how you guys doing? This is very important in reference to the activities of people accusating against me. Some people knew that my mother had sued the Ray family in reference to their ties with Frank Sinatra back in the 80s when Frank had tried to kidnap me several times, and other times, even I don't know if Richmond, Indiana has police reports in reference to Doris Duke filing charges against Frank Sinatra for kidnapping me before, and other particulars. But in reference to Ronald Ray, I have nothing to do with his life. Don't know what it was. He was involved in some drug enforcement FBI task force. But see, Ronald Ray was part of the kidnappers' family back in the 80s. You know, Ronald Ray was from the Ray family. This is the satellite man still hitting me in the teeth. And Richard Ray is obviously one of the sheriffs in some city, and I guess he was tied in with the Indianapolis Police Department. My mother had the Ray family in court. I don't know if Richard Ray is tied in with Sergeant Hill, or, you know, Sergeant Hill was one of the men that tried to murder me too, and he tried to call me crazy. And he was tied in with Ronald Ray. Now, you know, they had kidnapped me from California. My mother had restraining orders in court cases against the Ray family, but they had kidnapped me from California. And the satellite man's still hitting me in the teeth. And Ronald Ray was in the FBI or the CIA. And Ronald Ray tried to molest me a few times back in the 80s when they had kidnapped me. And so did some other people. But, you know, in reference to the satellite controller and the industry of death, these people that had ties with Ronald Ray and his drug enforcement agency, they were trying to accuse me of being a bad person. When Ronald Ray was tampering with my computer that I had bought with my disability money from California, the California Disability Office, when these people had kidnapped me, because they were sending me my disability check here to Indianapolis. The satellite man's still hitting me in the teeth. And I told Ronald Ray not to mess with my computer. And Ronald Ray, he damaged the computer and then it stopped working, you know. And Ronald Ray, I told him to leave it alone. I have nothing to do with Ronald Ray's life. He faked his death or something, and he got more into the CIA or FBI or something. I have nothing to do with it. But in reference to him, he threatened to murder me right there in the kitchen of Francis Elkins's house because I didn't want him to use my computer. And he was one of the people that Pac Bell in California has phone recordings of him accusing me of things when I had nothing to do with this person. I had nothing to do with the Ray family when I was in California. I talked to Francis a few times, and, you know, these people have conspired against me. That's why it's so important that if anybody gets my biological parents' names wrong, if you are in law enforcement or government or drug enforcement agencies, you can get put on trial for attempts of murder. These people had tried to call me crazy when Ronald Ray threatened to murder me in Francis Elkins's house on Audubon Street. And back in the 80s, and when they had kidnapped me prior to that, Ronald Ray kept saying that Francis Elkins was going crazy or something. And I was like, no, I talked to her, you know, frequently because when I was being held hostage and I was waiting for my mother to rescue me from Indiana. And the information of he kept calling people crazy all the time. And then, you know, he joined the drug enforcement agents and this Sergeant Hill and this guy named Josh. It was a drug enforcement agent. And all these FBI and CIA people are violating my life. You know, they were part of the kidnapping. The FBI, he even said something like, oh, they saw you have to take off your shoes at the airport. And there was some old man, there was other people there having to take off their shoes at the airport too. When they went through the scanners or whatever, you know, they were checking people. But this is during the time that they kidnapped me. The Royal Protocol's been in the media 24 hours a day since the day I was born. Any government man or politician misrepresenting my birth identity, those politicians have to get put on trial, or government agents have to get put on trial. Anybody conspiring against me. I don't get into nobody's shit. I don't do drugs. These people and these satellite controllers, and Ronald Reagan even said he had ties with satellite controllers in Chicago. I'm not playing tricks, man. You better quit burning my mouth. You better quit burning my face. You better quit trying to call me violent. These people have burnt my teeth for over 19 years, every single day, on jobs, in stores, in businesses, and I've never picked a fight with nobody. These satellite men have been burning my face and teeth every day, causing me physical injury, trying to make up violence on me when they're trying to mutilate my supermodel status, my real anatomy. Their activities of burning me with satellites is a violent mutilation, and it does cause bone damage, teeth damage, and it does cause internal bleeding. These satellite controllers must get arrested. They need to declare martial law on all these satellite controllers, and they need to get put on trial for treason and for terrorizing my life. I'm not associated with the Ray family. I've requested my birth certificate information, my real biological driver's license, and they have not delivered any of them. All these government people physically assaulting me, damaging my teeth, must get arrested. Any FBI, CIA, or NSA, or drug enforcement man that stole any of my sperm must get charged and must get put on trial for attempts of murder, and they must get prosecuted for life in prison, or they can face the death penalty for shooting me, or shooting at me, or trying to hurt me. I have nothing to do with their games, or their conspiracy games, or any of their tricks. These people have damaged my teeth, trying to make up excuses for terrorizing my life because I'm prettier than they are. I am not their child. I am not their race. I am not their family member, and they're still hitting me in the teeth. They need to lose their credentials in the government, and they need to get prosecuted. I'm not going to play anybody's games. If anybody's covering up any records of the identities of any of these people, when it is found out, all those people covering it up must get arrested, and they can do life in prison. I'm not playing with any of you people. You're violating my life. You tried to frame me to steal my family history and my mother and father's estates, and you must get prosecuted. You better quit hitting me in the mouth and the face.